All right, part 5 here. I'm going to do A through G on this video, and then I'll do a separate video for the second half because part 5 is kind of long. There is a video on the table that's at the top of part 5. That's a separate video. We did that in class on Tuesday, November 5th. All right, so number 1 here, I have log base 2 of x equals 7. If you look back to your chart, it said when I start with a logarithm, which is what I have here, I have to use its inverse to solve it. The inverse of a logarithm is an exponential. So when I have a log here, I'm going to turn it into an exponential using the definition of a log. So I'll turn that into an exponential. 2 to the 7th equals x. And then all you have to do is calculate 2 to the 7th, which is 128, and that gives you the value of x. That's a super fast one. Part B, I have an exponential function. 5 to the x equals 79. I use the inverse of an exponential, which is called a logarithm, to solve that exponential. Now I look, 5 and 79, is there a common base between the two? And there's not. So what I'm going to do is use a logarithm to solve this. So I'm going to take the common log of both sides. When I take the common log, remember the x pops down in front of the logarithm. I take the log of both sides. All I have to do to get x by itself here is divide by log of 5. I do need my calculator for this guy. I'm going to take log of 79 divided by log of 5 into my calculator. Make sure you close the parentheses. And I get 2.715. Those are the first two. Let's look at C. I have negative 4 times e to the 2x plus 1 equals negative 328. Before I can deal with logarithms, remember I need to isolate the exponential. And my exponential here is e to the 2x plus 1. I can't do anything with a log until I get e to a power by itself. So my first step is going to be to divide away the negative 4. That gives me e to the 2x plus 1 equals, and let's see, what's negative 328 divided by negative 4? It's 82. Now I have e to a power by itself, so I can use its inverse, which is a logarithm, to solve. When I have a base of e, I'm going to use the natural logarithm to solve this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that whole exponent down in front and take the natural log of both sides. Remember, we've talked a lot that the natural log of e equals 1. So this guy, since it's 1, I can just cross it off. It's not going to change the value when I divide. It's just extra writing. So let's eliminate it now. To finish solving this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract the 1 first. Just like a regular solving equation, move the 1 to start. And then I'm going to divide by 2. I'm going to do this all at once. So when I type this in my calculator, I'm going to take the natural log of 82, subtract 1, and then divide by 2. Okay, so natural log of 82, close your parentheses, and do minus 1, and then divide by 2. And that is, what you got, 1.703. All right, letter D, log base 5 of 3x plus 7 equals 2. We're starting with a logarithm. So the opposite or the inverse of a logarithm is an exponential. I'm going to turn that into an exponential in order to solve it. So I start with my base of 5 and make my curlicue around. 5 to the 2nd equals 3x plus 7. All I have to do now is solve for x. 5 squared is 25. I subtract 7, which is 18, and divide by 3. That gives me an x value of 6. All right. 1 over 7 to the x equals 343. This is an exponential function. In order to solve an exponential, I have 2 ways. I either look to see if I can use a common base, or I use a logarithm. This problem, I can actually use common bases. The common base is going to be 7. If you don't see that you can use common bases, You're welcome to use a logarithm. It might just be a little bit more work. Here, if I notice that I can use a common base 7, I rewrite 1 over 7 as 7 to the negative 1, and 343 as 7 cubed. I simplify these exponents here and get negative x equals 3, and then I just divide by negative 1. So my x is negative 3. If I used a logarithm, I would have gotten the same answer. For f, e to the x over 6 equals 870. When I have a base of e, I'm going to take the natural log of both sides. When I take the natural log of both sides, the x over 6 exponent comes down in front. Remember, the natural log of e equals 1. So I just kind of cross it off. And all I have left to do is multiply by 6 to get that out of the denominator. And remember, we're multiplying log of 870 by 6, not the 870. So I'm going to take log of 870, or natural log of 870, and multiply it by 6. I get 40.611. Alright, last one for this video, question G. Log base n of 343 equals 3. I'm given a logarithm, so I'm going to turn that into an exponential in order to solve. I've used the definition of a logarithm. So we write this as n to the third equals 343. And if you know what n should be, you can write it down. If not, you take the cubed root of both sides. If you forget where the cubed root button is on your calculator, it's math number 4. And that would be 7. All right, we're going to do H through O in a separate video.